Okay, I'm back. So this is going to be part two. Looks like nobody's on. So I'll just hang on and see if anybody joins. Sorry I dropped out on you there. Anyone. There we go. Starting to get some folks back. Sorry about that, folks. I am on hotel Wi-Fi, and it's a challenge to say the least. Sorry that I dropped there for a bit, but it looks like folks are coming back, so we'll continue that. In fact, I've yammered on long enough. We'll start taking questions and see if I can get that to come up here. There we go. Okay, great. Starting to get people back. Awesome. What happened to LDT? He practiced all week. I don't know if they were saving him or if something flared up, but that's probably my guess as to why he didn't suit. Is this the game where they finally missed Hunt? I don't feel like it is. I feel... Fair enough, Mason. I do feel like they didn't use him enough. After Damien's been running really well for the last few weeks, the Patriots took him away early. Didn't find a whole lot of success, but Andy did what Andy does and kind of went away from it. I felt like he finally came back. He did eventually score and used him there. No horizontal rushing for Hill outside. That's true. When they crowd the line of scrimmage like that, and they have more rushers than you have blockers, that horizontal can get you in trouble real quick. So I can't say that I'm surprised with that one, but I would have liked to see, a few more aspects of it. Shrimp Goat, thanks for the money. I really appreciate the donations. You guys are helping me out. I'll have some new graphics and stuff, hopefully, that I will use your donations for good effect going forward in the offseason. Other things. Was Reed outcoached? It's debatable. This game hinged on a couple of interesting calls. The whole line it up offsides, I mean, that's basic. That's on D Ford. I know the angle they showed on television looked like it was dramatic. I'm not so sure that it was. So I feel like that's another deal. I feel like Andy made some mistakes, but I won't say he was outcoached. I think Sutton was outcoached. I'll tell you that. I think McDaniels got the better of him. He did make adjustments to that run game, the fact that they were just going to pound you because they knew you couldn't stop it with four guys on that defensive front. And Bob had to make changes earlier, and he didn't. So, Shrimp, hey, you and me both, bud, as soon as I get done. I don't think the coin flip giving Brady the ball first hurts anything because you want the ball first in the second half. It worked out for them. It allows them to make their halftime adjustments, get their plan together, and then hit the field running. I think that helps build momentum and get them onto a streak in the second half. That's pretty important. So I won't say that, but it's going to be one of those deals that you gotta roll the punches. Andy Reid is who he is. You're going to have some of those. The only way to fix that is to keep giving him enough weapons to get up early, and a defensive coordinator that doesn't care if you're up early, that's going to hammer that nail home. You need a more aggressive defensive coordinator that can help that out. So how do you stop Brady getting the ball out so quick? They ran man press and still got it out. They did some. They didn't do it enough, and they didn't do it aggressively enough. There's no reason you have to disengage. You can make contact from a snap and not move. Keep a hand on the guy. In fact, Javier's Ward, I think, plays better in man because he's able to have that proximity and get his hands up. I want to see a more physical execution out of this defense, and I think that will happen with a new leader. We'll see what happens. They were getting beat up against the zone early, especially in the first half, and I don't know what they actually did to change it because I felt like they went back to it too much in the second half again. So, Sammy Watkins, good question there. I'm not sure. Goat, you're killing me. I'm not sure what happened to Sammy Watkins. I know he came up. I want to say it looked like an ankle to me at the time, but I'm not certain. We're going to get the official word before I know anything like that. So it's going to be hit or miss. And that's the thing with Sammy. Good player, makes big plays, made big plays tonight, was able to help them get in position to win this game, but he's just a bit fragile. I don't know that that's ever going to change. I think that may be who he is. My thoughts on Romo, knew it was coming. Romo's a much better announcer than I think he was a quarterback, but he understands what he's seeing. I think he's great pre-snap. I think he was when he played too. I think some of his execution, I think he believed in his arm a little more than his arm believed in him in some plays in his career. But I think Tony Romo gave you a lot of insight that's legit, especially when he's telling you on that last play, that you're defending the middle, you're going to go off tackle, especially when he motions. I thought that was the key thing that Tony Romo told you tonight, and it gives you keys as to what the players are keying on as well. Do you think players and other players will take a pay cut to get some free agent signings? Mahomes and Hill don't have contracts worth taking a pay cut. They make, $800K a year. They're not the issue. It's going to be Justin Houston, Eric Berry, Alan Bailey's a free agent. They have a lot of free agents. We'll go over that here pretty soon. But I just don't know if any of the players are going to be willing to renegotiate. They may. This was as close as some of them, if they are going to be free agents in the future, as close as some of them are ever going to get to a Super Bowl. And that's something. So I don't think Alan Bailey will be back. I think he's grown to the point that he's going to get a contract from somebody. If he's willing to take a contract for less than he makes now, I think he could be. I think they would like to have him back. I just don't think they can afford to pay him when they have so many outstanding things at other positions. So it's going to be a tough one. They're going to have to draft again. I think Nadi's a guy that's going to play a bigger role in the future. And I think he can. I think he's going to help Chris Jones out in the future and produce for this team. They have to get more of a rotation. I thought Hamilton came on later in the season as well. I just don't know if he's somebody that can turn into and really develop to the point where he can take over and be a force. Matt Mitchell, good question. Rex Ryan, and I'll touch on it a little bit. I might have been cut off there just as I was ending lost connection on the other one. Rex is on the edge as far as I can see. He can be a good defense coordinator, I believe. A lot of people don't, but I do. He has no business being a head coach either. I will say that blatantly. But he's almost to the point where he's been out too long. We're going to have to see if he's really interested in doing it. I like the idea because Rex Ryan has a huge personality, and I think that's what the defense needs. Andy Reid has a big personality, but he's always encouraging his players to be who they are, to show their personality. And I think they need somebody at the top of the defense to do that as well. And that's a major thing that I like about Rex. That, and he runs a system when he has the athletes to do it that mirrors his dad's, and he's ultra aggressive. And that's what I think this league needs to fight back against the all nickel, don't hit a quarterback or a receiver or anything like that. That's what you got to do. I think Bob may choose to leave. It's going to be part of it. The tackling complaint. I've seen a number of people complaining about the tackling, and that's fair. Fundamentals are hard to coach in the NFL because of the CBA. You don't have time and you don't have contact days because the way the CBA limits what you can do with the players. It's to protect the players for their longevity and how many hits that they take. But it does make it hard to reinforce fundamentals like tackling. So they have to come up with something new. Excuse me. And if they do, that will help the league in general, but this team in particular. So look for, in the draft, guys that come out that are solid tacklers, that don't miss tackles in college. That's going to be key. That's the one thing that concerns me about Armani Watts. And I know a lot of folks have their safety hopes pinned on him. And I think he is going to be a good player, but he does miss a lot of tackles. He did in college. He did this year. It's going to be an interesting one. So I just don't know if they're going to be satisfied with that. I don't think Dan Sorensen's going to be affordable. Somebody's going to give him a contract. I think Nelson's going to get a contract. I would love it if they signed Earl Thomas. I believe an injury of his, I have to preface that by saying that an injury of his with the lower leg fracture, that's recoverable to 100%. You're not going to get to the point where it's not something that they can be functional again. It can be a full healing process for that particular injury. I'm not certain when, where, how. So that's going to be the big question mark. I hope that there's interest, but I can see him wanting to go back to Texas too. So we'll have to see what we hear and find out. The other thing that is one thing about Earl Thomas is that he and Barry are the same age. So you're looking at kind of the same issues. Injury history, they're getting older. I'm not sure if that's what you want to put all your eggs into those baskets. That's a risk, at least, to say that you're going to pull that off. So I don't know, Chief Daddy, there could be an injury settlement. I don't know. I don't think I see Eric Berry playing for anybody else in this league. He and Clark have a unique relationship. I just don't see it happening. So, Honey Badger, yeah, that's a good question. I haven't watched him very much, other than maybe 2 games that I saw of his film from this season. So I'll have to see what he did in that scheme. I think the coordinator is definitely at the top of the list. That has to get figured out soon. I don't know. I think it's going to be... I just don't know what's going to happen. So I'm going to hold back on that for right now. Let's see. No, there's no Kareem. Kareem Hunt will never play in a Chiefs uniform again. I can guarantee that. There is a lot of burnt bridge there. Not just what he did, the severity of it, but he lied to him. And I don't think there's any coming back of that. So on offense, somebody asked about Mahomes. I want to cover that specifically. If you missed that from earlier, again, sorry, I dropped my internet connection because I'm on crappy hotel Wi-Fi. I thought Mahomes did what he needed to do. I thought he was a little rattled at first again, but I thought he showed a lot of poise, a lot of leadership there at the end, barking things out, talking to his teammates. I felt like he was ready for this stage. Again, the first half was a little shaky, and I think he needed to work some of that out, but he did. I expect that it's going to be quite a bit different the second time around. I mean, he's 23 years old. This was his first postseason. So expectations went from here to skyrocketing in one season. And it's great because you got to ride the wave. But I think in the end, it's a little difficult to expect from a rookie, essentially a rookie, that kind of performance. Although it would have been great. And so just don't get down on him. I thought Kelsey did what he was supposed to do. I didn't see him. I mean, he had a drop that I really wish he hadn't. But I thought he played... in the run game, all right. I thought that he got loose on a number of plays. I just felt like there was too much emphasis on trying to stretch the field. I didn't feel they threw enough slants. I didn't feel like they screened enough. Obviously, that the screen for the touchdown was beautiful, especially when you have a player like that you can design a rollout and a cross body throw because he does it every time. So, it was just... it's just difficult. And somebody asked about why Mahomes is running for his life. They were stacking the box. There were more rushers than there were guys blocking because of the way that they lined up and the plays they wanted to run. I would have liked them seeing some double tight, some more of Sherman in the H that you can run him on routes too. It's funny because they gave a lot of credit to I can't remember his name, the Devine, whatever his name is, the Patriots running back, because he caught a pass on a wheel route. And said, oh, you don't see that very often. Well, you do from Sherman. So, hey. Thank you for the donation. Saw that. Appreciate it. To wrap it up here, because we're going to go record the podcast here, so check out Locked On Chiefs. And make sure you check out Insurance Incorporated over in Shawnee. It's insuranceinkkc.com. It's been in the videos before. Check them out. They do a great job. And they work with all kinds of people, including auto owners insurance. Some good guys over there, and they've been helping me out on this channel, and I think we're going to have a good relationship going forward. So please give them a shot, and if you need something like that, check them out. Coming up, I will have Super Bowl coverage. I will do post-game film room on this, and then I will switch over and start talking about the Super Bowl. Post-Super Bowl, we're diving right into next season. Not going to be much of a lull. I might take a week off, and then I'll be right back at it. We'll talk draft. We'll talk free agency. We'll talk Senior Bowl and starting the process for all of that. So please make sure that don't let yourself get too down about this. This is a team on the rise still. They have some things to fix, but I think they'll be able to do that. And I think they'll be optimistic about it. So you stay optimistic. Thank you for all your time this season and watching me and checking out the channel. I'm going to have a ton for you. Hit me on Twitter. If you have some topics you want, that's at Ryan Tracy NFL. Make sure you check out the podcast. And we will talk about the next steps for this team and Pat Mahomes. And we'll find out what happens with the DC